in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, 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 in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, 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 in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, 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 podcast, in the zone, 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 podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, 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 in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. 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 In the zone, podcast.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the In the Zone podcast. It's your boy B Foster. Brian Foster is in the building. Are we on YouTube?
We are on YouTube.
That's right, just making sure.
It was more like a question like, do we have a YouTube? Yes, we are live on YouTube and we have a YouTube page. In the Zone podcast
we was up.
at YouTube. I don't know if it's at YouTube, but yes.
What's going on, y'all? I hope you're having an amazing week. Summertime shy is still in full effect. I know y'all tuckered out. I know you've been sending the kids back to school, but it ain't over yet. It is not over yet. We got another month.
It's not?
We got another month.
Of what?
Summertime.
Shit, man. Shout out to y'all.
You ain't barely summertime.
That's true. You all right?
So I don't even want to hear that.
2 events.
So you got a whole month. You got a month to make. Oh, shit. Anyway, what's going on with you, Sean?
Nothing. How you doing? Okay. All right. We got a newbie. We got some oldies.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good show.
Let's jump in.
Well, first, before we jump into anything, I think we at least need to acknowledge the unfortunate event that happened today with the kids in Minnesota. I mean, I don't really have anything to say other than just to acknowledge how hard that must be for not only the kids who went through that, but the parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to just acknowledge that in this first 2 seconds before we go into some fuck shit.
Yeah, well, I don't think we have. I think we got some good stuff today. But a moment.
Not this first damn cut. Not this first one.
We'll see. We'll take a moment.
Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
That was some fast thoughts and prayers. All right.
It's a moment. A moment is not 2 minutes.
Let's get that image up. All right. So my understanding is that there's a controversy about wearing gym shoes to the office.
Let's fight.
I don't get it.
Let's fight.
I don't get it. I get we're supposed to fight. What about fight? What's the fight?
So the industry standard in a lot of places still in corporate America.
So wear your loafers?
We wearing dress shoes, we wearing heels, flats, I suppose. But gym shoes on casual Friday, sure. And the other time, particularly if you're black. What kind of hood shit you bringing up in here?
Wear some gym shoes. What they wear some on clouds?
What I'm telling you is, it don't matter.
You got them on.
It don't matter.
If you have on clouds, nobody is saying you got them.
They don't even know what that is.
White people do know what on cloud is. Yes. The black people don't know what on cloud is.
Yes, we do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Black people and the white people know what on cloud is.
I'm telling you right now. These broke white folks don't know what on
bullshit. I was in fucking Seattle. I thought they were giving the motherfuckers away for free. Everybody had the motherfuckers
in tech world because they all got money. Absolutely. That's not here.
Anyway, what's the argument that
the argument
should
is
it be?
all right. So as we see right here, we got the sister that's doing a thing. I believe she's a principal. I'm not 100% sure, but she's got her fly outfits and she's got her fly kicks to rock with them.
Okay.
People are saying, is that cool? Is it okay? Is it professional? And we're not. And tech is a whole different world. I'm talking about attorneys.
I'm in consulting.
I'm talking about accounting. We're talking about in these very stiff white collar communities. Mm-hmm. Can we transition to this? You can take that picture out of that round. I appreciate you.
Okay, so to that point, right? I do think there are very few, and I think this is fair to say, there are very few industries where you do still have to come in suit jacket, loafers, wingtips, your khakis, and your collar shirts on Friday. It's like 3 of them. It's like banking, banking. It's really like very square industries. Consulting is not like that. People wear hoodies and meetings. You're in marketing. They probably have on cat ears. I don't.
More creative spaces, absolutely.
Consulting's not creative. They are square
you're right.
L7s in consulting.
But you're working at the crib, so you can wear whatever you want to wear.
There are people who still go into the office and they want to come in with their Jordans and they tweed jackets.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
You're going into it's a capital murder case. Your life is on the line, and your attorney comes to visit you, and he got on a suit jacket, some jeans, a button up, and a pair of fresh Jordans. Are you cool?
I mean, I feel like the judge is gonna take care of any concerns I may have.
I'm not saying he's walking into your prison cell to have the meeting, and he's got on this outfit. What are your immediate thoughts?
I mean, my immediate thoughts be like, "What the fuck?"
This is what I'm saying.
But obviously, I have to sit down and talk to him. So if what he's saying makes sense, and he seems like he's gotten himself together, that may have just been the outfit he wore to prison because he is coming to Cook County Jail. I'm gonna hope he comes a little bit more professional to the courthouse.
I want my lawyer that's protected my life in an Armani suit and a tie and some fucking French cuffs.
Every day?
Looped up every Saturday when in the pool. I want that mug. I want him dressed up at all times.
Wait a minute, he wearing the 3-piece suit in the pool?
In the pool. I want him dressed up at all times.
Wow. All I'm saying is you come and visit me in the county. I'm okay if you just come in a polo with some flat front. It's fine. I'm just saying again, if you can talk the talk and you look like you're gonna get me off, I really don't give a shit what you wear. I probably care more about what you wear in court than what you wear to the prison.
Okay, so he can't wear that to court.
I mean, the judge would get rid of. No, he can't.
Why can't he?
Because they have rules and regulations about that.
With the point of the conversation is are these rules and regulations archaic in any setting?
I feel like that's too broad of a stroke.
Why?
Because there are some professions where it's fine, it's not a big deal, and there are other professions where they clearly have not grown with the time, so it's not appropriate.
The question is, are those rules archaic in these professions where it's not okay?
If that's the question, sure, it's archaic.
So
sure,
okay, so you cool with no matter what the scenario is.
Again, it may be because I'm in consultant. It really just, can you do the fucking job? You can come in a thong. Can you do the job?
Thongs are distracting. No, I want. There's a certain attire I want my folks to have.
I have seen CEOs of consulting firms be sitting there rubbing their cat in a robe during a meeting.
All right, great.
I'm just like, who cares?
Fine, you stuck in your one little space.
That's all I got.
Broaden your horizons here.
I'm not a lawyer. I wish I was.
You've been to the doctor's office.
True.
Do you care what your doctor wears?
No.
Couldn't care less, huh?
Can she diagnose me? Am I gonna die? Am I gonna get all my diagnosis?
That motherfucker better have some pinholes on with a dime in them. There's a certain look.
You a lying to have. If your doctor came in with some Jordans and a jersey with their white coat, because everybody gotta wear their white coat, but if they can explain your condition.
Nope. If he got on some scrubs and maybe some gym shoes, cool. But if he just got on his regular little lab coat and like his regular dress, nah, my man. You gotta have some hush puppies on.
What's the difference between?
Wait a
minute. Why can he wear
Stacey
scrubs?
Adams? I don't care what he gotta have.
He can wear scrubs with the Jordans.
Well, his scrubs is doing some hospital work.
But
he probably came out of surgery.
He gotta have penny loafers. Make that make sense to me.
I'm sorry. What's the question?
The white coat he gotta wear penny loafers, but the scrubs he can wear his Jordans.
Yes.
You don't even see how that makes sense.
He just came out of surgery, and he probably wanted to be comfortable while he was standing there for hours. I agree with that.
So they don't.
If you bouncing from room to room and you sit in that little stool that rolls around and shit, you can wear some uncomfortable shoes. Right. You can wear some uncomfortable shoes. I'm just saying.
That's stupid.
Maybe
because they're walking up and down the hall,
and then they roll in that little chair,
rolling from room to room.
You can do that.
mean, if they are rolling now, if you're rolling from room to room, then I definitely am not taking you seriously as my doctor.
If you got a little nurse pushing you,
then no, you cannot be my doctor. That's an out. No.
That's an out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying,
if you got to be wheeled into my appointment,
there's a certain look I want the people in certain professions to have. If the ladies want to get out, ditch the heels, and have some more comfortability in the gym shoes, I'm with that. I'm cool with that. Unless you're my accountant.
What does it matter? They on the computer. Behind the desk.
You guys to present a certain way for me to take you seriously.
So what if they had a desk right? All you see is this up. Then
Rob, let's see the comments. If you get then what do we do? Like if you it's an accountant. All you see is from the waist up. Do you really give a shit what's happening from the waist down? My accountant's not standing up and greet me at the door and shaking my hand.
I don't know. I'm not rich like you. I don't know how these things.
Another problem is my investment brokers got a
every time you come in
got a knit cap on and a hoodie and smoking a blunt.
Wow, you're very. When did you become a boomer?
When I was born.
You're an old extra, but you're not a boomer.
What I'm saying is there's a certain look and feel I want my people to have in certain professions. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a requirement. And if to your point, if my investment broker is making me money and I never met him in person,
fuck.
Cool.
Said that like Dr. Evil. I don't give a shit.
Dr. Evil.
All I'm saying is I don't. Sure, the first impressions are probably gonna be an eyebrow raise, but again, if you can show me you're a professional and you can do the fucking job, I don't give a fuck if you sitting in a damn G-string. You gonna make me $1 million? Cool.
I want you to make me $1 million in the Brooks Brothers suit.
What difference does it make? $1 million in the thong and it's the same.
I feel better. I don't want to sit around no brother in the thong.
Well, that's your damn misogyny popping out. I mean, we had a whole naked person on the show.
Yeah, but he was way over there. That was virtual.
Entire naked person.
Entirely different state.
You did not feel away. You weren't over here like my man.
He wasn't handling my
man.
He wasn't handling my money either.
Just saying.
Or my vasectomy. So let's pop into the topic. The first topic.
Oh, sure. Ryan, can you hit the first video, please?
Believing that they're going to change. Marry the person or date the person in front of you and love and accept them for who they are. If you cannot, I would highly suggest not being in a relationship with them. One of the big mistakes we make in commitments to people is loving somebody they're not and loving who we hope that they could be, not who they actually are. If you are on the other side of that, where you feel like somebody loves you for somebody you're really not, that sucks. And if you're the person loving somebody, believing they're going to be something different, also very painful. So go into the relationship eyes wide open, understand who they are. If you can accept them for who they are, great. If you can't, then I'd reconcile that before you get into a long-term committed relationship with them. Don't date or at least marry someone believing that they're going.
This is the essence of our topic. We're going to discuss, and I want to introduce our fabulous guests that have magically appeared.
I still like the applause.
we can still applaud for them. How much change is realistic to expect in relationships? So when you get into a relationship, we all think we're going to grow and shift and change in a certain regard, but I think
do we?
Maybe we don't. I think most people, in particular women, feel like they go to get with a guy and it's like, yeah, this, that, and the other. I can fix the rest of that shit.
Oh, okay. Now that part's true.
Okay.
I just like, do men walk in like, I'm gonna morph into this wonderful man?
No, we walk in as wonderful men.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, that made my chest hurt. Wait.
Herein lies the question. So that's the topic. I want to introduce our guests. First of all, on my right hand side, my best hand side, my Whitney Young Dolphin homeboy. He's been on the show before. Y'all know him. You love him. My boy Eric. What's happening, boy?
How you feel?
Should have been a bear.
No, I shouldn't have. Not at all.
What's up? Who are the Bears?
We acting like we don't remember that.
The ones from Soldier Field?
Yeah, yes. Anyway.
Go ahead.
God. And I very rarely have like not old, but some of my like closest friends, my most vintage friends, and this is definitely one of them. So yes, vintage. It's vintage. Vintage is fabulous. One of my oldest, why can't you say, we are not old, we are fabulous. Shawnee, thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Of course.
And I thought this topic would be perfect for you. And Brian always likes new people. We like popping a newbie
We
cherry.
do love to get an ITZ version.
Wait a minute. Is this Eric's first time on the show?
It is not.
First time you being here.
Oh.
Remember, there was a whole show
Those
before
3 years don't count. Nobody cares about that.
Oh, that's when you were out of town.
You were out of town. You were
Oh,
out of town.
that's right.
Yep.
What was that?
Put
That's
me
what
to
matters not.
sleep.
Oh. Well, I was doing what I do. All right, let's be a little serious now. We're gonna start with the young lady. What does change in a relationship mean to you, and how do people typically misunderstand that?
So let's start realistically. Realistic change to me is things that are superficial, right? That's realistic, like how somebody dresses, or like maybe places that people tend to go, like the culture, like how exposed they are to the world, right? Because other change, like vices, right? Sometimes, like before we got on, a gentleman said something about like women think that, oh, I can change him, or I like him like the way he is, but I can change this, or I can change that. And it's like, no, you cannot change like the essence of a person. You can't change that. You can't change that.
But you can change, like, I think a good number of women, they see a man dressed a little, they could be spruced up,
Right.
Like that kind of a change.
That's realistic.
Yes, that's something that we can, but like making them a good person.
But I'm talking about, you know
probably
how
not
they like, Gray got potential. Well, leave that nigga where he at. Because
Come back when he's reaches
because potential, right? Potential is like potential. You because we think like, oh, I can nurture him, I can do this, and I can no. If he doesn't see his own potential and want to rise to the occasion, you wasted your time.
First of all, let me say, I did not see nigga coming out of her mouth in the course of this show. I
Came. I was like, oh wow. I didn't think.
She said a little
sorry.
pretty proper to me. I didn't know.
What show is this?
Because that's who they are when they, I just feel like spade is a spade.
So we can't invest in a man and help him become a better person?
Invest how?
It depends.
Yeah, just said the clothing thing is fine.
So that's a good question. So let me tell you a little story. So there was these two who met in high school. Oh, they were high school sweethearts.
Mm-hmm.
And the young lady saw this man, like he, 16, he had 2 jobs, right? On the dean's list.
Okay.
Great, right? Going to the military, doing great things. Come out, and he was doing good for a while she was in school. Things happen, they separated, they get back together, but now she has a career, right? He comes back in and she does everything, right? She gets him a new car, pays off his child support. Like,
Listen, this is much more of a reality than y'all realize.
Let's finish.
I believe it's reality.
Let's finish. Pays off his child support, gets him a new car, pays for his degree, and still does nothing. Still does nothing with his life, right? Does nothing with his life, does nothing with himself, ends up getting caught up in some shenanigans, get a DUI, got put in jail, like all these things. So you can invest in a person, but if a person doesn't want to be better or do better, it doesn't matter what you do, right? That's just even our children. You can give your children everything in the world and pour into them, but if they don't see the value in standing up and being a great person and doing something with their lives, it doesn't matter what you invest in anybody, whether it's man or woman or child.
And I would also, in addition to that, if you're doing all the investment and they're not investing in themselves,
Right.
That's you're not going to get any kind of ROI on the relationship for sure.
Exactly.
All right, E.
So a couple of points. You raised some very good points. I would say this. A woman cannot change a man, but a woman can make a man want to change.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if he sees that, hey, I want to keep this woman, she's doing this, I need to change some things within me, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that piece. To your point about once you can overinvest, and it's not about the what. I'm not about to do what about this, what about that, right? Let's take it for what it is, right? Once you see you put so much investment, it's just like investing in stocks. Once that stock start falling, I got to sell it. I got to sell quick.
Right.
I love men talking about other men like this.
I mean, respectfully, fellas on there, don't crucify me, but sometimes we be on bullshit, right?
Oh, Brian will absolutely say
We
that.
don't bullshit.
We stay on.
We do, right? And even I'll admit, like I said, I need a woman who can put her foot in my ass the right way because I can be a little bit trifling, right? And I need that, right? And that's part of the investment when you say break.
trifle?
Oh, sure.
Self-awareness, I agree.
Right, I agree, right? So that's part of the investment in someone. It's like, okay, I also agree to potential. Potential means he ain't doing shit right now, right? But that could be the same for anybody. Potential. I tell my son all the time, like, yeah, you could be doing it, but you ain't doing shit right now. So let's keep rolling, dude.
Absolutely.
So as long as we grow, we need to, that investment has to be reciprocated, right? And it might not be, and it doesn't have to be equal, that equally yoked bullshit that we're on. It could be 90-10.
I just fell in love with E, right?
90-10, but that ain't in your favor, right?
Yeah.
But that's part of, we pulling. I'm pulling my 10% the best way I can, right? You're pulling at 90, because eventually it's gonna have to, it's gonna shift, because I might be pulling 90 and you pulling 10 at some point. So I think that the investment within each other, once you decide that the discernment of, is this person worth investing in, no matter what they're doing, whether they blowing my back out, they taking me out, they treat me, they make me feel good temporarily but not totally. That's not a true investment. I gotta invest. I gotta bounce or say, hey, what's, how do you move forward? How do we move forward?
But how do you know, right? Because I think one of the things you said that's important is potential, right? And you mentioned it too, this potential. One, I think we get potential really wrong. Mm-hmm. We think potential, seeing somebody with potential means like I see something in them that they're not actively doing that they could be great at, right? That's not potential. Potential is they are in the midst of doing something. They're at the very early stages and they're working hard and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel for them. But they're already on the trajectory to do it.
They just need that extra push.
Yes.
So,
and they need support. That's potential.
Right. I think women see potential in men before men see potential in women. I think as men, we see a different potential, right?
Yeah.
I think women see, because I see in high school, like they're like, okay, this guy is smart. He just doesn't realize smart. He's kicking with these dudes. So I'm just going to be close to him. I'm not going to make him a man per se, but I'm going to be close to him. Because I can see me being with this dude because he's getting good grades, he comes from a good family, I might want to hitch on to him. So I might give him a little nudge. I might dangle some nookie in front of him to make sure he do it. It's real. That's real. That's real.
I get it. It still sounds real. Just like when she said nigga, that was like, wow.
That's real talk. Hey, that's real talk. A woman will tell you, been a victim of. A woman will tell you why you in the mix in the biblical way. You in the mix, and you're like, so you gonna turn that paper in, right? You gonna get that done, right?
Or you going to hang out with Steve and him? That's what you think you really
want
to do?
You really want to go hang out?
Hey,
and it's real subtle. It's real subtle. She's like, "Are you going to hang out? Okay, cool." And she going to room, come back out, and that thing, and just walk past you like, yeah, dog. I'm gonna be a little late, and that late turns to the next. What happened to you? Hey, man,
that late turned into never.
I got caught with some bullshit, man. We ain't gonna admit that.
That's right. And that's a day they went to jail. And she saved, yo.
Exactly. That's real.
Because you weren't there.
Right.
All right. You want to hop in here?
I do want to ask actually kind of a quick follow-up question on that.
Yeah.
How can we distinguish between healthy growth and trying to quote unquote fix someone? Because I think there's a difference between growth and fix.
Absolutely. So when you look at healthy growth opposed to fixing, it's the idea of support and enable, right? Because if I'm trying to fix you, at some point I may be borderline of enabling you to have whatever that behavior is, right? Like say if you're doing amazing at all these things, but maybe you got a gambling problem, and I see that gambling problem is, so in this, right, I'm covering everything financially because in my mind I'm like, okay, this, so that is me trying to fix you, right? I'm trying to fix this vice.
When does that turn to resentment?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying earlier. Vices. When somebody has a vice, you're trying to fix them, right? You're trying to fix them because that's something that they have to do. You cannot. That has to be their thing and their thing only. right? That has to be their thing and their thing only. And you can support them. But a lot of times when people have vices, you love them, right? Because we cannot talk about this without incorporating that I love this person, I'm attached to this person emotionally. So it's not easy to just be like, oh, I'm out. Right? But when you have a vice, then yes, then that means that that I'm trying to now fix you in some kind of way. Opposed to healthy growth being maybe you started something, like maybe you started a business, or maybe you started a hobby, or maybe you come to me. If you come to me and say, hey, I'm trying to do, like, oh, I want to start going to the gym 3 times a week. And so now I'm like, oh yeah, what time you want to go? And then I'm supporting you to do that. But this is something you're wanting to do that you're going to, and I'm supporting you in doing it. That's healthy growth, right? Or you want to change how you eat. So now I'm going to the store and I'm finding healthy recipes and I'm doing this. Or you like, babe, we need to go to bed at 9 o'clock because we getting up there and, trying to stay up late ain't working. So I think when a person is acknowledging something and saying, I want to do a thing and change a thing and I'm supporting you, that's healthy growth. But if you got an issue and I'm trying to get you to work on that issue, then now I'm trying to fix you. And that's not going to work.
Is there ever a space where you can see, like, let's take therapy, for example, right? You see your man is struggling with something. He kind of knows it, but not really is ready to do anything about it, or at least hasn't put the steps into it. And you sit them down and say, hey, you need to do something about this. It's impacting you this way. These things are happening, and I don't know what's happening on the side over there. Would that be considered healthy growth, or would that be an unhealthy, like that, just going into the conversation, right? Would that be an instance of healthy growth, or would that still be trying to fix them?
The answer becomes, what do they do after that, right? I, as a loving partner, everybody can see something on the outside looking in, right? So I can look at you and say, hey, babe, I noticed you've been moving like this or acting like that. And energy, people don't realize, like, energy is powerful. If I walk into a room and I say, Steve, what's wrong with you? Nothing. But if I asked you, I already know something is wrong, right? I already know. So when you say nothing, now you're lying. So now you're creating a whole nother issue because energy is real. So if I come to you and I say, hey, now what he does after that or what she does after that determines if it's you're enabling them, trying to fix them, or if it's healthy growth. Because if I acknowledge something and you say it specifically, they kind of know already, right? And so if they say, man, so now she can see it, or now he can see it, I need to do something about this. If they take ownership of it, it's healthy growth.
Okay.
But if you then got to turn back around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, then now you're trying to fix them because that's not something that they want to change.
Okay. Was that the question you were going to ask?
It wasn't. That was a great follow-up. Yeah, I'm going to ask you this. It's tied to this question. We were talking about this right before we got on air. Let's say you were a teacher, right? And you get with a young lady and she says, hey, babe, you ever thought about being an assistant principal or principal or da-da-da-da? And you're like, yeah, nah, I'm good. I love working with the kids. I love being in the classroom. That's my passion. Boom. But she kind of keep pushing for this higher, quote unquote, position. Is that healthy growth, or is that fixing?
I think anything that turns your relationship negative is fixing it. Anything that takes away from a relationship is negative. Because, and that's actually happened to me, because I went to school to be a kindergarten teacher. I always wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. I think it's important to see Black males, especially at an early age, for kids, right? But being a kindergarten teacher wasn't paying my bills, so now I'm an IT consultant. But I still
damn the kids.
Right.
You tried.
I do other stuff again, and part of me still wants to go back and teach kindergarten. Do I want to take that pay cut? But
you rich, you got it.
So I think I'm fostering. I think that needs to be a conversation. Actually, I had that conversation with somebody. I was dating a young lady, and she was like, she wants a man who has bigger aspirations than himself, right? And I was like, what if he's a bus driver and he could be a bus driver when he starts out, but eventually he needs to be running around, so being a manager or whatever, if he wants to be with me. I get that, right? So it's a matter of, if that's what you accept, that's what you want. If I'm not doing that, then you need to make a decision, because I'm happy with you. And if you want to make a move forward, do whatever you want to do, that's fine. If I'm giving you everything you need, except that one thing, you can't be with me, then you got to bounce, because I'm not bouncing. But you need to be brave enough to say, you're not enough. Instead of turning that against me, so now you got resentment, and now you making snide comments and all that. We ain't got to go through all of that. Either you want to accept me for me, or you're not. And that's the bottom line. I have to accept you for. I always say, I trust Foster to be Foster. Once Foster stopped being Foster, then I'm side-eyeing. Because, like, Brian don't move like that. Brian is doing stuff that he don't normally do. And first I'm going to say, hey, man, you good? Because you wilding. And I'm not going to do it. I'm like, hey, man, you going to have, like, Sarah drink? You good? Because you've been wilding lately. You ain't been acting like you. And then we get a disagreement. All right, cool. Then I might have to back off from Foster for a minute. He might do the same, like, yo, Till, you tripping. This ain't you. What's going on, right? So as your spouse, significant other, whatever, we got to have that conversation. Like, okay, you know how I feel about me being a black male teacher. You know I feel the importance of it. And this is where I'm going to be a kindergarten teacher until I retire. CPS kindergarten teacher, that includes with that, right? If you can't accept that, or you want me to be a principal or whatever, and I don't see the value, it's different if I just say, I tell you why I want to be a kindergarten teacher. I tell you why it's important to me. And then you say, but I want you to be this. Now we at an impasse. So somebody got to go. Somebody got to go, right? You need to accept me, because the negative that you have on me is because I'm not doing what you want me to do.
Yeah, one's about you and the other's about them.
Right.
But they'll turn it on you and say, but I see so much more potential in you than this.
Yeah.
I see so much more you could be doing.
Right, you could be
I see so much more money we could be making.
Exactly.
Is what it really translates
So is that
to.
is that like positive gaslighting? Because I'm like, that sounds like
What?
gaslit.
Shockingly, I do think that would fall in the gaslighting category.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's like,
I didn't consider that.
Yeah, you gaslight
Right.
me. No.
But and the thing is, when you got with me, you knew the deal.
Right.
I told you, right? I told you what the deal
But
was.
she could fix you.
Right. It's just like as consultants, right? A lot of my friends who are consultants, they on the road Monday through Thursday.
Right.
I'm home 2 days out the week. I'm back on the plane Monday or Sunday night, Monday morning. If you can't deal with, I need to be home more. Yeah, but
I got the wrong job for that.
Like my wife said, I would like to be a stay-at-home mom. You can be a stay-at-home mom. That's cool. All this we got here gonna change. I can support my wife and my son, but we ain't gonna.
But not
we not living in Madison. We not living in the house we living in. We not driving what we driving. But if that's what you want, that's cool. But are you willing to accept what's gonna come with that? This stuff come with that. Now, that dual income gives us all this we got here. What you want to do? What you want to do?
Quite frankly, I would downsize so I could stay home.
Listen.
Some people would, and that's cool.
All the women in here right there, like,
Because value, it's all about value system.
Right. What
Right.
do you value? Do you value the house with the pool and 2-car garage and a double Tesla, and you got this closet full of bags? Because you ain't gonna get all them bags at Christmas now because you only got one income. My kid might not be able to go to private school because we down to one income. Is that what you willing to do? If you're willing to make that, if you're willing to sacrifice, now we talking about growth on the other side that y'all don't want to talk about.
No, I
Now,
can
They all put their hands up.
right.
because it's like I said, it's all about what you value. It's all about what you value. And like when you spoke earlier about being a kindergarten teacher, I think that's very admirable. If a black man told me what you just said, like I want to be, because I think it's like I rock with you. If we gotta live in this apartment, this studio apartment for the next 5 years,
There's limits, people.
But what
we can just move the Lansing into a nice little
2-3 bedrooms. Right. We can slide to the Heights real quick. We get a house in the Heights.
I don't know what
Then you gotta get a shotgun.
That part. We slide to the Heights. Not right.
Little 1,500 square feet, we'd be okay.
For a while.
Now, I will share this. I won't get into too many details, but piggybacking off of that, I recently had a conversation where I asked for something and somebody was like, well, we can't travel for the first half of the year. And I was like, okay. And I don't think he was prepared to hear the okay. I think he was like, what do you mean okay? I was like, I want the thing, so okay.
Yeah, but you're trading off a thing for a thing.
I understand, but he only put that out there so I could be like, no, I want to go the room. I was like, no.
He put the thing in so you can say, I want to go to the room. Cool, then we can't have the thing.
I know. So he didn't have to buy the thing. And
He
I
was
said,
trying to dead the thing.
I want the thing.
Okay.
Shit.
Right. Now you gotta get.
Oh, I already know what this is.
I know
without
what
but
this is. Hey, I peeped that out. For real? All right.
God damn it, I lost my next question. Okay, so last question. What are signs that a partner is genuinely evolving versus just kind of placating you, just doing it just to, keep things going or get you off their back? I'll start with you on this one. How do you
I would say, as a man, when we actually listen, as opposed to saying, "Give me the yes, dear." Okay, dear.
I don't know the difference because
there's a
y'all do
difference.
the same.
Oh, there's a difference. You'll know the difference.
All right.
When I actually am listening to you, instead of be like, "Hey, okay, I got you." You can take the garbage out. I just take the garbage out.
And still in my hand while I'm
right,
saying
right,
I got you.
exactly. I heard you. You gonna take that? I thought you were gonna take the garbage out. I'm gonna take it out. Garbage man will come tomorrow until 2:00. It's Thursday. They'll come till Friday at 2:00. Well, I gotta take it out right now, right? As opposed to, you gonna take the garbage out? I got you. I get up and take it out, right? So you can make the garbage can be whatever. It's X, right? When I'm actually listening to you, then you can see the growth, right? When I'm actually, as men, this old school, we always trying to fix shit, right? I had to learn I can't fix everything, and sometimes you ask me, you just want to vent. That bitch about to try to destroy me. I know that bitch don't care about you, but okay, whatever.
What? She crazy.
Right. Exactly. Well, girl. I'm just listening, and you want to get that off your chest, and then we can move on.
Yeah.
As opposed to me trying to fix it or offer you advice. Because when I give you advice, and advice could be right, I ain't trying to get no advice right now. That ain't what you talked to me about. You ain't asked me for advice. Hey, I'm having this problem at work. I can't stand this bitch. She got to go. I don't work with her no more. Oh, for real. Damn. That's the okay. You want some tacos? I'm gonna go get tacos. I'll go get tacos. What you want? Wings? I got you. Right? That's what you want, as opposed to. I think that's showing growth from the male side. As receivership on the male side, I think it's also, are you hearing me when I tell you, hey, that really pisses me off when you do that, right? I can't deal with you when you do. I can't deal with you when you act this way. And you listen and you hear me. I think y'all listen, but y'all ain't hearing. I think we hear y'all, but we ain't listening. Right? So I think when you start hearing what we're saying and don't try to read into what we're saying, well, you don't really mean that. What the fuck did I just say?
Why not just say it?
I literally said to you XYZ, but you said I said JKL. What? That's not what. But you meant JKL. I told you, right? We're really not that difficult. I literally told you what I felt and what I'm seeing, and you like, okay, I feel you on that. Let's move forward. Let me make the adjustment. Or ... right?
Yeah. To piggyback off that real quick, I think part of the importance of that is I can hear you and say it, and when you say, let me tell you, hey, the garbage man coming today. You right, and then I get up and take the garbage out. Right. Next week, the garbage man coming today. You right. We got that. You right. It's the consistency once I put it in action. If I'm just doing it anytime you say it, then that ain't really
right
doing. But if I heard you the first, maybe the second or third time, and I'm consistently doing it, that's showing some growth. Okay. Some movement.
Right. Instead of you saying, you go over there, oh, he did garbage out already. It's done. Right?
That's my favorite. When I'm like, oh.
Exactly.
I can nag about something else.
If that ain't the truth, I
thought y'all would appreciate that.
It's always on to the next thing.
What can I nag about now?
I can't nag about that. Damn, we nag about. Why don't we here? We good.
There's always something.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't.
Come on, girl.
All right.
Well, actually, you gentlemen said a lot of great things that I totally agree with. The fact of listening, observing is important. And consistency, right? Because if you're placating, that means you're going to do just enough to pacify me in the moment. And then once I go back, because I believe as a woman, because I'm not a man, as a woman, if you pacify me, then and I'll just get back into my rhythm. And you're going to see I'm back in my rhythm. You like, yeah, she good. Until again, just like he said, you're going to say, about the garbage. It's like, so until I get stopped in my rhythm and be like, wait a minute, and then you're gonna placate me a little bit more, and then I'm gonna go back in my rhythm. But it's the consistency of you, whatever it is that I've asked, or whatever it is we're talking about, or the fact that I never have to say anything because you're just paying attention and you're doing a thing. Like when the man pay attention and just do a thing, I like that. You know what I'm saying? And not to say not to say that, you know, because I think it go both ways. I have a philosophy that if I'm doing everything, if I wake up every day and my focus is how can I make his day easier? How can I make him happy today? How can I just make, you know, how can things just be a little bit smoother today? Right, then that's great. And if that's vice versa, right? If he's thinking that about me, then that means your needs are being met, my needs are being met, and the house is good, right? Because no one's being selfish in this moment.
Y'all got an argument for that?
How about I look out for me, you look out for you, and we'll be good. Okay.
That's not marriage.
Yep, shit, it ain't.
One for you, one for me. One for you, one, two
for me.
We're gonna move on to the next topic, but thank you both. You guys were outstanding.
Yeah, that was great
for sure. I wish we could continue, but
no, I picked that up on another day.
Yeah. So you say. All right. So next video.
See, that's what we just said.
See,
what we just said.
You ain't never happy.
I just said we naggers.
You're just doing what you said.
Oh, naggers.
This was Thank you.
That was good. You guys were great.
Yep.
I've had times in my life where I've thought too much about regrets and stuff in my life, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about that some in the past, like looking in the past too much, right? Or
Right.
attaching myself to the past. Has there been anything along your journey that you've kind of regretted? And then how do you deal with regret?
I mean, individual choices and mistakes, yeah, but ultimately you learn from those. So like, no, because like even the regrets, the bad things or the stupid things, you learn not to do bad things or stupid things. You know, all those things are beneficial in some way if you can get through them. You know, if you like did something that resulted in someone's death or something horrible like that, yeah, it'd be a terrible regret. But I've been very fortunate that hasn't happened. But the dumb shit that I've done or the bad mistakes that I've made, they've taught me. You know, you learn. Like that's why failure is so important. Like failing and fucking up and making mistakes. It's very important. That's how you learn. That's the bad feeling that you get from something that you shouldn't have done or wish you didn't do or wish you did better. Like especially failing at something where you half-assed it and you just feel like a fucking loser. Like that just teaches you. It teaches you to get your shit together.
Well, you have such a good ability to learn from those things. Some people, I think, kind of repeat. You know, it's just.
All right, so that's Joe Rogan setting up the second half of our conversation. And as you've noticed, we have kept one.
And we back.
And we back.
And Shawnee is more.
And Shawnee has not changed. Into another In the Zone fave. Shawnee did a great job. In the Zone virgins. First, I love it when we get a virgin here. That's what they do. We're going to have her back soon. But now we got our girl Keisha in the building. What's happening?
Thank you for having me.
Hey,
Always.
Hey.
Hey,
Should
girl.
we got along? What's happening here?
Right.
It's not that kind of show. People.
It's not.
It's not yet. All right. Sean, what are we talking about this on the second?
So we're going to talk about quiet regret. Why does regret have to be quiet? I guess can you have loud regret? I guess it doesn't really matter because we're talking about the quiet version of regret this time. And I guess my first question, and Keisha, since you just hopping in, what does regret mean to you, and how has your understanding of it evolved as you've grown over these years?
Well, that is a good question.
Shout out to ChatGPT.
Okay, yes. Yes to AI. So I think as you know, in your younger years, you learn or you hear that regret is something negative. And what?
I probably should have warned
y'all. Do not
y'all.
read the comments.
We have trolls in the comments, and they love getting y'all's attention.
Okay, yeah, that's new. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So a negative connotation, regret. You don't want to have regret. I think that's what I kind of like grew up feeling. But as I've gotten older, I feel like maybe I can look at it in a different way, more as a growth, something that I can grow through. You know, something that doesn't have to have a negative connotation. Like I didn't pick left, but I learned from it, and now I'm kind of going back on the path that I need to go on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then what was the second part of that?
How has your understanding of it evolved?
Oh, I guess I just kind of answered that. Yeah. So I don't know that, like I used to say, I don't know if I have any regrets, right? And as you look through it and you kind of go through your life and you're saying X, Y, and Z, I think probably 10 years ago, I would have regretted some of those things. But as I've grown, and now at the age I'm at now, I look back and I say, wow, okay, yeah, that didn't go the way I think it should have. But I learned this, I'm this way now, and I'm continuing to, grow. But that can be, it could have not always go that way, right?
Sure.
Very true.
It could be something that really didn't go in a positive way. So then you look at it like, well, is it actually really regret?
That's interesting because I think as I've gotten older, when I was younger, I don't think I regretted much shit.
Really?
I don't. I think I just lived life and what may come what may, and I figured it out, and it's gonna be all right one way or the other. As I've gotten older, I look back at some choices I made in my youth, and I kind of regret not taking some things more seriously at the time. But now I feel regret in a different way. I feel regret is if I don't take this risk, I'm gonna regret I didn't do it. If I don't step out on faith on this, I'm gonna regret I didn't do it. As opposed to if I'm taking the more sure path, right? Because I'll regret if it goes. This will be okay, but this could be amazing, or it could be a horrible decision. And now I regret if I take the safe choice over the other one.
So you regret not being more risky as you get older?
That's
the most backward shit I've heard in a while.
But it's true.
No, it's true.
Interesting.
It's true.
See, well, I can't say that. When I was young, I regretted like a bunch of shit. Now, I don't regret much of anything, whether it goes negative or positive. I think there's something to get regardless. And for me, it's to learn the lesson. Or shit, sometimes not learn the lesson and repeat the mistake, right? But I've never been risk adverse. So I'm always like, fuck it. I have a very fuck it kind of attitude.
See, we reversed.
I'm very like,
that's how I used to
what's
be.
the worst that could happen?
I wanted that.
Right.
And that,
When I was younger, yeah.
Yeah, when I was young, it was like, now
No, when I was younger, I was very like
risk averse.
Moral. My parents said this, and this is what I have to do. And if I don't, then I'm gonna regret X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And it traveled with me way too long. Way too long. So if I think about a regret, I regret not being.
What made you change?
Yeah.
What point in your life do you think you changed?
I think it's just life, and just realizing that it could be worse. I need to do what I need to do. Maybe I fail. Who cares? But I might succeed, just like you said. Like, take the risk, because I'm gonna look back and say, "Damn, what if I had done X, Y, and Z?"
Yeah.
Piggybacking off of what Keisha just said, I'm gonna throw this over to E. So you can get him wrapped in it. She mentioned about how family, a lot of the things they instill in us, we, carry forward, and they kind of bring in our mind in our decision making, right? So how does that play? Damn, I just lost the damn question. But I think overall, like, how does that affect what we do feel guilty about and what we don't feel guilty about?
That's piggybacking on what Keisha just said.
That's what I did.
Good.
I started this off.
So,
It was hard to keep up when you say I lost the question.
I did, because the question was on the list, and I was like, but that was the point. That was the question I was going for.
I was giving you shit.
so you're saying how it affects the family or affects?
How does it affect your decision making, right? Like,
How your family, your upbringing.
yeah.
Upbringing.
Because your mama
It
be
does.
instilling all kind of shit
I
in you.
think it truly does. So one question I was going to ask you, being risk averse as a younger, you raised in the church.
I was.
So a lot of Catholic or non-Catholic?
No, not Catholic.
Okay. No judgment. I'm just
No,
right. I think when you are tightly wound as a kid, when they make you being real strict, especially religious strict, right? It does kind of guide you like, oh no, I can't do that because I don't want nobody at the church to think this way. God's watching, I can't do this, that, and the third, right?
I think mine was more not church. I mean, it was like, this is what we do. Mine was literally that I just wanted to make sure my parents were proud of me.
Right, that part too,
Yeah,
right?
it wasn't like I mean church. Like I think I did church. It wasn't. They weren't like you have to go, but it was kind of what you did.
Well, I think not
in the South.
necessarily again. You had to try. I think the moral component of church.
But I think for
ties
me,
it in,
mine was
and the
really
parent, right.
my parents. I
Right.
didn't. Now it's more morally.
But that probably was set the stage for them, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were churchgoers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of how they,
Yeah.
Right.
how you felt you should be, they instilled in you because they got these things
Church.
in church. Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
For sure.
Right, and I think that kind of guides your relationship with your parents and your relationship with yourself. And as you mature, become separate from your parents. I'm using that word carefully because so you didn't feel like you separate from my parents. You separate from your parents and as you become an adult, and even as you become a parent yourself, you still take those morals, but you kind of mold them to fit your situation. Because like we were talking earlier, right? My situation, my parents became parents at age 18, 19. I didn't become parents until I was damn near 40, right? So my situation is different. I was establishing my career. I was married. That all that line. So that my morals and my perceptions are different, and my regrets. Well, let's back out. My perceptions are different. How I perceive the world, and how I think the world perceives me. So I think then that also that leads into the regrets of career, work, family, personal life, all of that. Does that answer your question a little bit?
Yeah,
absolutely. Hold on. Before the show get away from us, I'm asking a real question. Eric already said don't make me cry, but I'm about to try.
Maybe cry one 5 things.
Are we trying to get views? We've never had anybody cry. Well, yes, that's not.
we have.
That's not. Yeah, we have had somebody cry.
So Keisha, you got any? Give me your regret. Give me your biggest regret.
It won't be a quiet regret if she tells us.
That's what we hear. We hear that. We hear that. We here to say that the quietest, biggest regret out loud.
You know what? To be honest, I don't have a problem saying this. I think my biggest regret is that I didn't become a parent, whether I was married or not.
Mm-hmm.
It was always, like I said, you grow up in a 2-parent family in the South, in the church. You don't have, you're not a baby mama. But I wanted kids. So I followed everything to a T. You go to college, you get a job, you do all the things, you find your husband and you get married. Well, that didn't happen. And so climbing the career path, trying to, be social, move into a new city and, learn in the city and meet people. It just, you wake up one day and you're like, I don't have kids. I don't have a husband. So I think not the husband part, but definitely, I wish I would have just had a child. Not necessarily baby mama type shit, but and then also for my age group, that wasn't something we talked about, freezing our eggs. So when I found out, it was kind of like a little bit too late, So I think
and it was part taboo for our community.
Exactly. So I think just not trying to please my parents, And then of course they say, well, you should have had a kid, and I'm like.
Don't they piss you off with that shit?
Are you serious?
Right.
Because you had told me that 20 years ago.
You told me if I had a kid, I was too
oh my
fat.
God! You didn't make me your grandma. So yeah,
it's funny because I feel like no matter which side of that you're on, there's always a little bit of regret, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think women who have children outside of marriage have the opposite regret, and women who try to hold out for a husband share that regret. So it's just very interesting to think about the two sides of that same coin. Yeah,
I can see that too.
Yeah,
sure.
Sean,
what?
Say your biggest.
Nigga, I just told you I don't really regret shit.
Your biggest regret. Everybody got a regret. Stop it.
I think the biggest misstep. I wouldn't even say it's a regret because
Well, regret doesn't have to be a negative thing too. Though. It don't have to be a misstep. I think that's a misnomer for regrets. That it's a mistake.
I think the only thing that pops into my head was following a guy to college. That's probably the one that pops into my head.
That's a big one.
Because I was not self-aware enough to know that I wasn't even ready for college. But I didn't know what else to do with myself. And he was going to a school, and I was like, fuck it, I guess I'll go to the same school. So that happens a lot. Yeah. Probably.
That didn't work out well.
Not for me. I found out. So wasn't it good? Wasn't a good move. I mean, if I could go back to 18-year-old Chantel, I would have told me to go to the HBCU. I would have made me go to Spelman.
HBCUs.
Because I got to Spelman, I would have made me go. I just didn't know enough at the time. But looking back, I know I needed that hand holding that HBCUs get you.
And Spelman for at that too. Yeah.
And no, I think I would have ended up hating Spelman, but still, needed the hand holding.
I hate to even call it hand holding. It's that I like to call it nurturing.
Yeah. I mean, because I went to U of I.
Yeah, but a lot of students, it's I'm kind of showing on my kid right now. It's like I think that he would be better in a smaller situation as opposed to going U of I.
Sure,
absolutely.
Because going from a student body of 100 people to a classroom of 100 people, right? But then again, he might shock me and do well. I don't know. So am I imposing my fears on him? And then I've regret, like, man, I made him go to a small school.
Yeah.
He could have went to a bigger school, right? So,
but he'll let you know that.
Yeah.
When he gets there, he'll say, this ain't the right fit, or blah, 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 or he's not, or he's struggling in other ways, and then it'll show itself in whatever way it's going to show itself.
I've been meaning to call you about that too. Had that conversation.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
But all right, fine. So you gonna out me? Let's go. What's your biggest regret? You thought you was gonna skip over?
I'm the host of this show. I don't know.
There are two hosts.
I know. That's why.
Yeah.
Let's go to Eric first. Eric, biggest regret.
Oh shit.
He ain't shit for that. Yes, come on.
Oh shit.
Come on, Mr. Tillmans.
I'm thinking like, man, I think I got two major ones. So I think one of my biggest ones is my son stutters. And also we can't say stutter, he's and I didn't see it. And my wife was like, he got a problem. I was like, no, he don't. Because he had tie tongue, so he had that taken care of when he was kid, got his tongue clipped. And I was like, no, he's gonna grow out of it. Even my doctor was like, he's gonna grow out of it. So we're in a car one day driving to my parents' house, and it was just bad. It was worse than Coming to America. It was worse than Harlem Nights, man. And I'm in the car, and I hear my son trying to talk. I was literally in tears. Listen to my son, and I'm like, and this was like maybe 2 months after my wife had said he got a problem. And I'm like, no, he gonna grow out of it. He'll be fine. I'm not gonna label my kid. And I'm like, had I done this 2 months earlier, right? Because he still has the problem, but he's managed it better. But every now and then, I'm like, bro, get it together, right? So I kind of feel like that's on me. That I could have said, let's put him in class, let's get him teachers, get him speech therapy, let's do all of that when he was much younger. Because literally, we're in the car driving, he's trying to talk to me, he couldn't get out a word. And I was like, oh my God, it's tough. And I was like, as soon as I got home, like, yo. And she's like, nigga, I told you. Right.
I love a good I told you moment.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Melanie.
If it's any consolation, one of our former presidents has the same speech.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people that do.
So,
but it's different.
It's hard to go through it when
it's your own kid.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
hard.
And it's kind of like you sitting there like, regret had I listened. Had I been not in my way, like, no, you're not about to put my son in no special ed. You're not about to label this black boy, that. And I got out the way and said, okay, let's jump on it. Let's jump on this now, right? Would he be different? Right? He's still a great kid, right? But every now and then I'm like, and the problem is that he knows it. And then, so now that he knows it, and all his friends, luckily he was not, had he been in public school, it would have been a whole different situation. He's in private school, so all his friends knew, and it was one thing that was refreshing, like, new kid came to school, and he cracked on my son about his stutter. The whole class was like, who are you?
Right.
You new here, you're not going to jump with the whole class, like, nah, we're not doing
That's
that.
not what we do.
That's not what we do. And the whole class came to my son's aid, and I was like, shit, right? But on the other side, it's like, I put my son in that situation.
Yeah.
I put him there, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I feel how you feel that way.
Right.
Look, my daughter has ADHD, and I struggled with that for maybe the first 2 years of her diagnosis. There's no way to know what the path forward should be and when to call it out, right? There's just no good way to know. But I share that to say I understand your, looking back and saying, had I done this differently, would that kid be in a different space or a better space or have a better handle on it? It's just, I always tell parents, new parents, like, you just do the best you can. You're going to fuck up and just be okay with recalibrating every time
We don't
you
get a
fuck
guide
up.
for this.
There's no way for you to, and you can't get upset with yourself about it, right? Because you don't know what you don't know until you know it.
Right. And you don't know what you're going to do until you get up in there.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's the other thing I tell parents. You don't know what kind of parent you're going to be until you become the parent. So stop trying to tell them. Don't even bother.
Right. When I'm a parent, I'm going to be
so cute.
That's
That's
good luck with that.
So adorable. This kid's not going to be running me. Shit. The first 4 years, that's your new boss. Enjoy.
First
Only
four.
four?
No, because after a while, you start asserting your, am I wrong? After a while, you start asserting your dominance.
Yeah.
Oh, well, y'all still working
It's
on that?
that
Oh,
parenting era.
oh, that's next week's show.
That's different.
Yes.
Yeah, it was about 5 years old. I said, oh, fuck this.
I'm the boss.
Yes.
Boss baby.
First couple of years, they the boss. Hey,
Don't let him slide.
you right.
Eric, I was
no.
out of there. I was
Sure,
almost out of there.
come on. Talk about how you went to the clinic. Come on,
No, who my doctor must know about sue everybody. You know what? So I talked all that shit about now. Okay, so my biggest regret is not taking my mother's mental health more seriously. When I saw the decline, I was in a state of denial. Other folks are telling me, and I was like, you tripping, kind of similar. You tripping, I don't see it. She's getting a little older, And I think I did her a disservice for years, to be frank. I think I've really just actually gotten her in a space where she needs to be the past year. Not owning where she really was on her journey in life. And it caused her some discomfort. It cost her money. It probably cost me some money in the long term. And it definitely took an emotional toll, probably more so than it needed to if I had just been upfront honest with myself about where she was and where she was headed when I initially saw it. I just couldn't come to grips with it. And it probably threw both of us in a deeper hole than it needed to be. And it took me a couple of years to dig both of us out. And it's different when I'm making mistakes and have to dig myself out, but to have to dig her out of it because she couldn't control it. I needed to step in and be more in control. It's a bitter pill to swallow. So I say that as an adult, I don't regret stepping out on shit that for me that affects me. But when it affects other people, particularly my mother, yeah. So I regret I didn't see that and move in a swifter way.
Oh, shout out to everybody for being so vulnerable. I mean,
that's all you get though. You ain't getting no more.
I was going to change gears. Do you want to have them hang out with us for the next segment?
Please.
In the final segment?
But we still got a couple of minutes.
I know, but if we have them hang out with us, we probably gonna need them extra. All right, Ron, next segment. Shani, you want to come in, hang out with us during this last segment? Yes.
Yes, please.
You have my seat, sweetie. I'll bring you.
Thank you.
Got shot and 4 dead. We just had senior citizens laying shot, bleeding in the streets. And let's not forget the gentleman who we saw, who was on Facebook Live, get robbed and shot while he was sitting in his car. So we don't care about anything these people are saying. Tell Brandon Johnson and Pritzker, if Chicago is so safe with Brandon Johnson, especially, let's leave his 150 police detail. Fire them and walk around with no police detail. And Pritzker, no security. Come in my community, the south side of Chicago. Come over there and let's see you say how safe it is. You can't even sit in your car long. If you sit in your car, you know that it's a chance you're going to get carjacked, robbed, or shot. So tell him to come around in my neck of the woods and talk that. We are not thinking about Pritzker or Brandon Johnson. We just had 4 mass shootings.
Oh, I love when Brian rubs his hand. So that sets up the last thing we're going to talk about, right?
Oh, fuck, why did we do this? I'm
'Cause
sorry.
It was fun.
Why did we do this? Go ahead.
We don't have to talk about her per se, but I wanted to kind of get, and we're going to have to get you closer because we can't
Yeah,
see your
okay.
camera.
That's why I say you want me to scoot over.
So,
Act like we know each other.
Yes, absolutely.
I think at this point, everybody is fully aware that Senior 45, now 47, has commented that one of the next cities that he wants to send the National Guard in would be good old Chi-Town, right? Now, the conversation we want to have is, one, everybody's feelings around that. Do we feel like this is something that's actually needed? It's going to be helpful? And the second part of the conversation will be, are there any alternatives that we can maybe do as opposed to maybe bringing in more policing?
So, it's a couple of things that I got a problem with. Right? First of all, who's we? Secondly,
Was that for me or was that for
her? Right? People don't understand the ramifications of bringing the National Guard into your city because the laws change and military do not follow police law. There's a rule in military. What makes the grass grow? Blood makes the grass grow.
Oh, that's how you know I ain't in the tune. I know nothing about that.
Military is not hey, put your hands up. Military is be firing because they can't hesitate. Cops have a different rule, right? Secondly, regardless of what you say about Brandon, I'm indifferent. I don't live in a city, but my family's in the city. The statistics are down. Period. Chicago is 92nd in crime.
Oh, can you repeat that part?
Chicago is 92nd in crime in the nation. 92nd. So people always talk about martial law. They don't know what they're talking about. You don't want soldiers in your city. You do not want that because everybody is subject to catching one. This is color what it is. Everybody's subject to catching one.
We all know that that's not what this is about.
Well, it's not what it's about. And so for her, the two ladies, Diamond and the two.
Oh, he doing it. Okay, so where she
dead, so we don't
where she came from was, I don't know how on top of, I watch a lot of.
Well, did she also she went to Congress too, right? Wasn't that the same?
I don't believe that, but what happened was, again, Senior 45, now 47, mentioned that there were black women in Chicago wearing red hats, begging him to.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are.
I don't believe a fucking word of that.
I believe no. There are black Trumpers.
Unfortunately,
there are black Trumpers who live by me.
Sure, there's black Trumpers, but I don't think anybody was like, "Excuse me, Mr. President, please bring them to Chicago."
Nobody did hire.
He got a check.
Yeah, here's what I don't think people also grasping. If you think that the National Guard is going to be on 63rd and Ingleside,
you think that
you're nuts. Right. They're going to be downtown Gold Coast. They're not coming north of Roosevelt. They're not going west of Halsted. They're not going south of Roosevelt. They're not going west of Halsted. They're probably not going north of North Ave.
They may stick a couple in Hyde Park for funsies.
Maybe.
They don't need to.
But they don't really need to. So the areas that need it, right? That everyone's like, come solve these problems. They're not even going to be in those areas. And even if they were, to Eric's point, they cause more trouble than they solve.
And they don't want to be here.
They don't.
They don't want to be
here. But
to
be fair, because obviously we're all going to have very shared opinions now. According to other Chicagoans, crime is out of control. And unfortunately, the mechanisms we currently have in place from their perspective are ineffective. So I have heard this, that why not try something else?
So what do you think?
Wait a minute, let the other.
I'm sorry. This is something I'm really passionate. I am really
Johnny, you want to hop in here before Eric
jump
on his damn soapbox again?
Well, listen. I will say this, but then I will let him finish because his passion can ride. I can ride away with his passion. Okay, I can ride away. I will say this. Coming from the south side of Chicago, I believe that the real issue is us, right? The real issue is is us in the community not being a community, right? Like when I grew up, I knew everybody on my block, and you couldn't do anything without an adult. We had one lady, Miss Hall, that sat in her window, and if you did anything before you got home good, your parents knew what you did if you did something wrong. Like everybody knew people. It was safe to go next door. It was, you knew who house not to go to, right? But it was more of a community. Like I don't even know my neighbors now, right? Like I see them, but I don't really know my neighbors. Like I know the male's name, but I don't know his wife's name. I don't know the two kids' names, and they grown women. But I'm like, community is, we are lost in the community. And then also when people say like that whole snitches get stitches, and like a lot of these people know who doing what, and nobody wants to do anything, right? Like it's really about like the breakdown and the systematic breakdown. So it's a whole lot bigger than them bringing in martial law and all of it. And like they said, like to what end did you bring them in? If we're not willing to be in our communities and do the work that needs to be done in the communities and fix the breakdown in the communities, you're gonna always have that problem.
All right, Eric, hop back on your soapbox.
I'm gonna try to be more calm.
No, come on, fiery Tillman, let's go.
So I totally agree with the sister right here, right? The communities have fallen apart for numerous reasons, right? Too many to enumerate here, but that's part of it. And to your point about the snitches get stitches, it was a matter of you don't snitch because we're gonna take care of it ourselves. We didn't take care of it ourselves. It was, these kids acting nut. Okay, we're gonna get the dads and they were okay. It was up, and we getting together. We not doing that. You can't snitch. What that video by Joshua? I called the cops, brother. I called the cops, right? It's just so frustrating because I love my city, and to see 47 come in here and say, because he's still pissed that we ran him up out of here.
No doubt.
He's still pissed, and we're gonna still run him up out of here.
Who is this? Oh,
yeah, in 2016.
I keep forgetting about that.
Right,
yeah.
and as he drove down Lakeshore Drive and down 290, he's like, I can't believe people live in these areas, right? I'm like, Oh, that was the comment. He said he was driving down the expressway. He's like looking at the neighborhoods on the side of the expressway. Like, I can't believe, how can people live like this?
Oh wow!
Right? I'm like, bro, are you serious right now? That's why we about to run you up out of here. And
damn, slum housing came. But anyway, we not.
The
expressway that you riding down is part of the reason. But
we don't talk about that. We don't want,
right.
So
statement wasn't even in them. But
right, it's crime. Chicago has never been the crime capital of the nation. Growing up, our crime capital was Gary and DC.
And Little Rock.
And Little Rock. Little Rock is still right.
Quite a few years.
Chicago.
Born, baby. Born, baby.
Right. Chicago has never been.
Raised, but
Chicago's never been. I don't even think we've ever really been top 10.
We haven't.
Right.
It's definitely
so
not
what
the
are we
last
talking
10 years.
about? So you want to be petty, right? And that's why I kind of like. What pisses me off about some Democrats is that they have no spine, they have no backbone, and they're not going to tell that dude fuck off. I like that Pritzker and Brandon like, nah, dude, that ain't happening. Even when it came down to immigration, right? So I agree that there is crime in the city. And even when I go to visit my parents who stay on 72nd and Jeffrey, area I grew up in, I'm still got my head on the swivel. I get it, right? There's a reason I believe every black person should have CCL and every black person should carry. I'm totally with that. But crime, you're not going to erase crime.
No.
Right? You're not going to erase violent crime. And that black people have the highest crime rate because of black people proximity. We go to white neighborhoods, they got white crime.
Yes.
I know
they're killing each other too.
Right. I know a story.
Nobody says white on white.
Exactly.
Right. Nobody says white on white crime. Nobody says Hispanic on Hispanic crime. Going back to your point about the people killing each other, this is a new thing going around where that's racist. There's a certain group of Hispanic people are coming into your house. Imagine you go to church, you come back home with Hispanic people in your house saying, I got a lease. And the police come say we can't know about because they got a fake lease. Mm-hmm. They did this to this lady. Her kids went to church. She came back, and they took over. They took over. They took over her house on 78th and Essex. Yeah. Look it up. They took over her house. She said, "Y'all ain't gonna get out." She went and got the GDs. GDs in the building.
Oh,
through
all GDs in the jail.
Come on, GDs.
Next thing you know, the police are like, "Yo, we need to get over here." They taught them Mexicans how. They taught them cats how to fly. They threw them out the third floor, third window, out the backyard.
Mm.
G's came in and wrecked shop. That's how you handle snitching.
Absolutely.
Shout out to growth and development.
That is neighborhood police.
That is neighborhood police.
That is neighborhood police.
Let me. That is
what we
best.
need to
That is
do.
best. Well, this is what Keisha, I want to ask you this because now you're good. I love because you're not from Chicago, but you live in a South Side community.
Yes.
How? Where your mama and them from?
From Louisiana.
How unsafe do you feel?
I don't feel unsafe. I mean, the normal, I'm a single Black woman and people are crazy safe.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm not like putting on my bulletproof vest to like walk out the door.
Mm-hmm.
But I get that. Like my friends, when I first moved here, are calling me like, "Are you okay? Is it safe for us to come visit?" I even had to like kind of coax my sister and her husband to get the girls to come because my nieces, they come here every summer. But it was like almost like they had to come and visit first because like Chicago, we're plastered all over the news. It's just so bad. And
We've
I'm like,
been used as
I don't live in that. I don't live in that area. One, and also like we're not going there.
Mhm.
Right.
But it's not that bad. Like rich people live here. If they lived here, if it was that bad, they would not be.
Rich Black people.
Right.
And they're moving. Rich people are moving to the South Side neighborhood. My neighborhood, Bronzeville. Literally, there's so many Black people there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
Absolutely.
And
Make
more
it make
companies
sense,
come.
right?
More companies come here every year.
I mean, you literally have Google in them 15 minutes away.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
they're not coming here if crime is so bad. That's not even what this is all about. So no, I feel very safe as an implant. Or is it an implant or a transplant?
How long you been-
Transplant.
Whatever way you want
Transplant.
How long you
transplant.
been here?
Feel like an implant is for your
booty in
booty.
Chicago,
Right.
right? 07. So yeah, I've been here long enough.
Are we going around? We just going around.
I'm sorry.
What's your question about being unsafe?
I was specifically asking Keisha because she's a Black woman from a different city, and I want to get her from an outsider's perspective. But I'm fine to go around. We got.
But I will carry a gun wherever I go.
Ain't
So
nothing
that's-
wrong with that. I believe you should. Yes, you should.
I will be in wherever.
Today's the first day I
down
didn't bring mine in the studio.
south. Right.
Shocker, you ain't got it right here.
Usually I do.
I mean, but we can wrap it up. Because I can hop on my soapbox, but I'll be talking for the next 20 minutes.
So I'll do a real quick speed round. If you could say one thing that you would suggest could eliminate is the wrong word because it's the area that will always be crime. Lower the crime rate in Chicago. I'm not even gonna say murder rate. It's the crime rate. One quick thing because I got a couple things in my head, but one quick thing, Sean. What would you say?
In poverty.
In poverty, man.
People commit most crimes because they're poor.
Mhm.
And they're just trying to survive, whatever that means for them. And on top of that, we live in a capitalist society where all of us want things because other people have shit. So if you just lower poverty, there would automatically be less crime.
Love it.
I would say like strengthen community because a lot of strengthen communities, right? Because think about it, like a lot of young people who get in gangs need a sense of community. They need a sense of belonging, right? So if you strengthen and have healthy communities, then that will decrease crime because people will have more positive things to be involved with and they wouldn't be trying to like hit us. This 11-year-old boy shouldn't be a hitter, but he trying to show his people that he trying to make a name for himself, trying to get clout for himself in the wrong way. But if he had community and maybe it's like, oh, I can hit more home runs than you, or I could do this more better than you, or I could do this opposed to what he's doing. But it's all about seeking validation, affirmation, belonging, and all of that you get from a community.
Yeah.
So if we have healthy communities, I think that'll decrease it.
Yeah.
I would say give these kids something to do.
Oh, you stole that.
That was
You should have went first.
I should have went first. I'm trying to be a good host.
Give these kids something because I don't have a problem with kids gathering because most times kids gathering because they just hanging out doing it. But it takes one knucklehead to do, and that one knucklehead might not even trying to do something malicious. He might just say, you know what, I'm about to wild out, right? You got to take that one kid with that wild out energy and turn it somewhere.
Yeah.
So give the, the call I was on, I'm on the board for a Head Start program too, for early Head Start for help parents get their kids ready for kindergarten, right? And the problem is a lot of parents don't push these kids in that direction because parents are getting younger and they out there footworking with their kids,
Kids raising kids.
There's the kids raising kids, and they're doing the best they can, but they need help. they need guidance. And
They
I
need
think
community.
they
No,
amplify-
thank you.
No,
Thank you.
amplifying what you said. I'm with you. I'm saying. So my short answer is, to make a long story even longer, is give these kids something to do.
Right.
Give these kids something to do.
All right, Keisha.
That was exactly
it.
what I was gonna say. But I think if we to kind of like tag on to that, so giving these kids something to do, like that starts very early, right, in the community, and then as they get older, I think transitioning away from everybody should go to college and incorporating some kind of skill, some kind of trade in high school, so that you're giving these kids an option, right?
Bring back
Everybody is
vocational
not a
schools.
college student.
It's wild that vocational schools are disappearing.
Right. I mean, like culinary, like these kids don't know how to cook. Obviously, kids raising kids, they're not learning how to do it at home. So incorporating that in schools again. It used to be a time where they had home ec and all these options for the kids.
Woodwork,
Woodwork,
woodshop.
right?
Mhm.
Exactly.
I learned a vocation.
Mechanical.
And I think it's
Mhm.
key. Everybody needs those
Electrical,
jobs.
all of that. Yeah.
Everyone can't be a corporate baddie. Everybody,
That's right.
doesn't go to college, and we need those jobs. And those jobs are great jobs.
Essential.
Yeah.
They're essential.
Essential.
Essential,
And they
and they
make
make
good
money.
money.
Yes. So whatever you're
Hey,
looking for, if
money.
you're looking to become
I get
successful,
pissed every time I gotta call my plumber.
yes,
Right.
Beat me in the head.
Because I'm
It's
small.
on Wednesday morning.
How do I
Painter,
get to
plumber.
university? Like, how do I do
do
this?
this.
$150 just to come to you.
Yes. So yeah, that would be mine.
For a clogged tub, it's really sad.
Yeah, that's
Listen.
crazy work.
I tell
It's
anybody,
ready for a running
when I was
club.
in high school, I learned to run and print and press. So
Wow.
it's,
That's kind of cool.
I wish I had kind of kept up with it because
Yeah.
I'd be baller right
Exactly.
now.
You never started your newspaper.
No, I did not.
I'm about to say newspapers died. I don't know if you're balling right now, but you would have been doing good.
I like flyers, lots of things.
And still, who does flyers?
Who's your street team? You got a street team? What are we doing?
This is probably why I got going.
But what she's saying is
Nazi.
immediately
We bring back
following
club
high
dates.
school
Well, she
should
done
have
been
been
doing that.
Yeah,
She been
right.
doing that. No
Okay.
doubt,
She
no
would
doubt,
have
no doubt.
invested, and now she would have
No
been
doubt.
retired.
No
Right.
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. No, I think it's you all have hit on most of the important points. But I think the one thing that was left out is I think when I say people, since I already want to call it who is we need to reinvest in our communities.
Yes.
We need to go back and apply our skills, our finances, our knowledge into our communities. I can teach you how to mess around in the stock market, but if I don't give you no money to play,
Right.
then what good is that knowledge? If I teach you how to fish, don't give you a rod and a pole and some worms, you just be out there like, man, if I had some shit, I could catch some fish.
They ain't take them to the water.
You know what I'm saying? So we need to we can't just rely on our government, on them to go in, or our nonprofit organizations to go in and do these things. We have to be willing to go in and reinvest, even if it's in one person.
Yep.
It could
Yeah.
turn so many lives around.
Yeah.
And we got to get out our bubbles and do that. Hey, y'all, thank you for another great episode. Thank you to all our guests. You all were awesome. We could have talked about all of this. Like, this could have been 4 different shows.
Really?
It really could have been 4 different shows. Appreciate you all for watching. We will see you this time, same channel, next week, 7:00 p.m. Central, in his own podcast.
In his own podcast. In his own podcast. In his own podcast. In his own podcast. In his own podcast. In his own